So what about foxes? Did you find some?
We have. We've seen a lot of foxes, especially grays. We've seen a few red foxes, but we've seen a lot of gray foxes. Not near as many cats as cats, but we still the way we kind of divided up where we're searching is we to put everything into about a 1 square kilometer area, and we put cameras within that, and we kind of count that as one unit. So not necessarily every camera is a unit, but every camera within that area is a unit. And if we go by the 1 square kilometer area, everywhere has a fox, at least one fox. Some areas have more, so we see it more often. Some we only see it once or twice in a 2-week span, but we're seeing quite a few throughout town.
Can you tell me a little bit about the foxes that you're seeing? How large are they?
They're about the size of a cat. They're really not. It's a very, very small dog, about that size. You can tell what they are based on even with night vision, but they're no bigger than a cat.
So how are they interacting with the cat population?
Really, we're not seeing a whole lot of, at least not aggression. The few pictures I have of seeing both a fox and a cat at the same time, they're not really paying each other much mind.
So do you know where they live or where their home is?
Gray foxes are known. They climb trees. They can jump they can jump up on top of a privacy fence like it's nothing. And more often than not, they're known to actually den in big trees with lots of leaves and lots of branches.
Is there a danger to us from these foxes, do you think?
It's with any wild animal. You always run that chance. They're wildlife, and you're never going to be able to predict how they're going to act or anything like that. There have been issues in the past with diseases and stuff getting transmitted to people. That said, it's really, really rare, especially when it's foxes to people.
Now, have you noticed the aggression to people?
I haven't. I haven't at all. None of the images I have at that point, they're only really around because people aren't. People are asleep. People are in their beds. No one's really wandering through the alley. The few times I've seen them in my life, driving around in town, in the evening or early morning, they see me. As long as I don't pay them any mind, they're content to keep doing what they're doing. For the most part, as soon as they notice I'm even paying attention to them, they just take off running. They're
pretty shy. They're pretty gun shy of people.
They really are. As long as you don't force a confrontation, they're fine doing it. As long as they just want to be left alone.
And what part of town have you noticed a bigger population?
Let's see. The most I've seen so far of where we've been is probably closer to Rush District. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where we were up to about. So far, the most I've seen is around LCU and around the Rush District.
And do you know how that kind of compares to the surrounding area, the region, Amarillo, other areas here in the South Plains?
We don't yet. We don't. We're still kind of figuring that out, and I don't know of as many studies that have occurred in kind of surrounding areas to kind of let us know what we're comparing to, at least not locally.
Now, where do you have the cameras?
Pretty well all over. We kind of set up our map to start anywhere west of Q, and we're trying to stay with no more than getting about 1 kilometer outside the loop. So it's everything within the loop, west of Q, kind of just to the very outskirts of outside the loop. And that's really where we're focusing at the time.
Okay, so you're really in town.
Really trying to be as in town as possible.
Is animal control taking some active measures with the fox population?
And have not been directly in touch with them yet. I've talked to other people who have been, and for the most part, the understanding I'm getting is unless there's an actual issue with pets being affected or people being affected, they tend to kind of just leave it. They haven't had a whole lot of issues, and if they're just kind of mind their own business, they tend to leave them alone.
So now you're asking people to help out and let you know what they see out there, right? If they spot a fox, if they could get a picture.
If you see something, opossums, foxes, raccoons, cats, any coyotes, whatever, take a picture of it. We have the email, ttu.urbanwildlife@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, send me the picture. We're working on getting a website set up that'll be connected to our tech page. That will if you also the time you saw it and also the address or area you saw it, we're kind of trying to build a further, even bigger database with getting help from the city and seeing. Can't have cameras everywhere at once. So if you see something, send us an email.
Yeah.
picture, what, where it was, and we're going to get all of that added to the website and kind of try and build a bigger picture with that. Activity for everything skyrockets once it gets dark.